Welcome in. It's a Blue Jays today, folks, coming to you from the Sports Interaction Studio. We were quite literally just live less than an hour ago. We sign off of that live stream. Of course, we put the set away. We're getting on with our evening, and then bang, Ross Atkins and the Toronto Blue Jays, they get to work. We were getting a little worried about that reliever market. You saw Edwin Diaz go. You saw Rafael Iglesias go. Saw a couple other
Robert
names
Suarez
start to go.
Yeah.
Guys that would have looked good in a Toronto Blue Jays uniform, but Ross, just when we needed him to, went out and got himself Tyler Rogers. We are going to be reacting, breaking down, looking into this signing. Short answer, though, for those of you who don't want to stick around, I like it a lot.
Absolutely. We weren't even talking about Tyler Rogers really at all, but I'm honestly very glad. There's obviously a couple things you got to consider with Tyler Rogers. For those who don't know, he is 34 years old, so he's on the older end of things compared to those other guys we were looking at, but he has been so damn good and so damn consistent. And here's the thing, too. I mean, for those who know Tyler Rogers, he's got the crazy ass arm angle, wild submarine pitcher. But when you have a submarine pitcher who throws like low velocity, your arm doesn't get that damaged that much, and he can give you a lot of innings in a year. And it feels like John Schneider likes to go to specific guys all throughout the year. Brendan Little was one, Louis Varland's another. You added another weapon in that bullpen where John Schneider's like, hey, I need an out, and I need you to pitch like almost every other day or every day. Tyler Rogers could be that guy. I'm exaggerating with the every day, but yeah, every other day.
Well, listen, man, like he has definitely had himself quite the tenure, quite the resume, and we're going to break all that down momentarily. But for those of you who just want a quick hit or quick comparison right here, think Adam Simber, but significantly better than that.
Yeah, or the guy we just got today, Mr. Lee. And people in the chat were saying, the Blue Jays should get Tyler Rogers to be with Lee and kind of, coach him up to be an elite, like, sidearm submarine pitcher. You manifested it right there.
Hours later, quite literally hours later, Ken Rosenthal was the individual who broke this thing. Free agent reliever Tyler Rogers is in agreement with the Blue Jays on 3-year, $37 million contract with vesting option. Source tells The Athletic. Value with option is at $48 million. So could be a 4-year deal, but for right now, it is a 3-year deal, and when you do the quick math, assuming there's no deferrals or if it's front-loaded or whatever, if it's just, taking it at face value right here, it works out to be $12.3 million a year. Very reasonable for an individual who last season, everybody, had an ERA under 2.
That's very solid. WHIP of 0.944. And you know what I really like? He had 81 bloody games.
That's fucking ludicrous.
That's literally half the season. So when I say every other game, he's literally pitching every other game.
That's actually the most out of a pitcher.
Exactly.
That's the most out of any pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, in the league. Yeah. Like, he is the number one go-to guy. And again, like, I like this because I think about even the way, like I said right off the top, the way John Schneider uses, his favoritism in the bullpen. Like, I need you to come out here and give me an inning of quality work. He is that guy. And it's been quality work under 2 ERA, like you're saying. And he's like the classic, I'm just looking for weak contact. I'm looking to put the ball in play. And luckily for him, he's got the bloody Blue Jays defense behind him to go and get those balls. He's not going to get a lot of strikeouts. It's very, very weak strikeout numbers right now. The strikeout per 9 last year was 5.6. Like, he's not going to get a bunch of Ks, but who cares? Give me some quick innings. Get the bats up that are cooking right now, this great offense, and let's get some runs on the board. Like, that's the recipe with Tyler Rogers.
Look, ultimately, the strikeout column really doesn't mean a whole lot, man. Like, if you got an ERA under 2, if you're pitching, an insane amount of innings out of that bullpen, if you got 81 games to your name, that's literally half.
Yeah, exactly.
That's ludicrous, man. Like, for a relief pitcher, I mean, we thought we saw Louis Varland doing everything in the playoffs. And he was. This is that, but the entirety of the season, which is, again, crazy stuff to say. Looking over at the advanced metrics right here, there's a lot of stuff that you're gonna like. The barrel percentage, the walk rate, the hard hit rate, the ground ball percentage. You got a couple 100th percentiles in there. No one is barreling this guy up. 2.1% of the time is he going to give up a barrel. No one's hitting him hard. He doesn't walk people either, because that would be the one thing that you might worry about with somebody like this, right? He doesn't have a lot of velo. He's pitching from a weird angle. What's the command like? Obviously immaculate.
It's phenomenal.
So people are hitting it. They just cannot square it up at all.
Yeah, dude, like all the numbers here, and if you're on audio, I'll try to describe it to you. Everything is deep saturated red on all the columns that I care about. The fastball velo in the 1st percentile, well, no crap. He's averaging 83.5 miles per hour. And we did a challenge a few years ago of trying to hit like a major league fastball. It was this guy's fastball. We barely hit it, right? Because we suck. But still, like he is the lowest velo guy because of the way he pitches. Same with that extension. It's hard to get extension when you have that funky delivery. And then the whiff and K rate, it doesn't matter how low that percentile is. If the ball is being put in play weakly, as you can see with the hard hitting barrels, you're just going to gobble it up as a defense and get it out. This is an absolute win of a signing, in my opinion. And the money is good, too. Like, if you think about the Blue Jays and all they're spending, like, this is barely a fraction of what they're spending right now.
$12.5 million effectively for, a guy who, again, last year pitched half the baseball games, right? Like, that's unheard of from a bullpen guy. Let's say that number comes down a little bit. Let's say that he pitches 70 games. That's still a lot of innings right there for a bullpen guy, totally well within his repertoire, well within the range of outcomes for him. And even if he regresses a little bit to the season prior, okay, because you know what? Last year was his best season at MLB. Even if he regresses back to what he did in 2024, still amazing stuff. That was 77 games pitched, also the most in baseball. Had a 2.82 ERA over 70.1 innings. This guy for the last 3 years has seemingly figured it out, and now he's bringing all of that over the Toronto Blue Jays in what I'm going to expect to be, definitely a fireman role, but like you might see this guy kind of slotting in as the 7th, 8th inning guy pretty regularly.
Yeah, exactly. I don't expect this guy to be the closer. Like, I don't think he's going to come in and demand the job over Jeff Hoffman, especially with his funky delivery.
19 career saves, I believe. So he's not really that guy.
He's not that guy. He is the, like you said, he's the fireman role. He was effectively doing what Louis Varland was doing all postseason, all World Series for the Toronto Blue Jays. You come in, because especially too, like they got a rally going. They're used to the same slot delivery. You give them a negative 61-degree arm angle as a different look. That's going to F all sort of momentum up from a lot of players. And that's exactly what he's in here doing. Now, I did want to flash over and kind of move up and looking at the Blue Jays bullpen right now and where does he slot in. I know we talked about that 7th, 8th man role, but you look at the overall effect of everybody else. You have Jeff Hoffman, as we know, Jimmy Garcia. We'll see what kind of year we can get out of him. Tyler Rogers, amazing elite pitcher. Louis Varland, we love what we got out of him. Brendan Little, he's just a lefty right in there. And then you round that with Tommy Nance, who's been great at times. And then the 2 long relief men, as I'm calling it, and Eric Lauer and Jose Barrios. You got Fluharty was already down in there. But you got Braden Fisher already in the minor leagues, but he's got a lot of options, so he could be that swing man coming up and down. But already, you had one guy. Yes, it's not the closer that we all wanted, but adding one guy in there immediately bumps everybody else other than Jeff Hoffman down, and that bullpen becomes so much more deeper.
I know, like that bullpen now is starting to look really nice. How are you feeling about it? Like if you walked in like this, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling decent. Like, obviously, I'd feel awesome if it was like we got, an Edwin Diaz or a Fairbanks, and they have people fighting for that closing role, because let's be honest, like, we still need to have a solid guarantee at the closing role. Right now, I still believe Jeff Hoffman can easily bounce back because he's been doing it in his career before, and like last year, maybe it was just weird unluckiness with like how many home runs he was giving up. Granted, Rogers doesn't give up a lot of home runs, so he could bounce back and be great. But I need to have a more guarantee, and I would hope they might get maybe one more. That's me being wishful, but if it did end up like this, I'm not upset. They needed to get someone who was elite and proven and someone you can rely on, and he's that guy, just not in the closing role.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. The reason that I can now come to terms with this is because I think that the actual closer on the Toronto Blue Jays team could be on the roster, but I wasn't willing to ever give him a shot at that, because if you ever did that, then that would mean that you're losing somebody very valuable in the middle innings. They just went out and they got that middle inning guy in Tyler Rogers, fire hose guy, certainly could come in the 7th or the 8th or really whenever you needed him. That might free them up to do something that I was flirting with on a recent podcast, which is potentially, should Hoffman not have it, think about moving Louis Varland over to the closing role.
Right.
He's got the stuff. It certainly could play there. He's been phenomenal. I was never really thinking that was a possibility just because he's so valuable, having him in the middle innings. And you got to make it to you got to make it to the ninth in the first place. But now that you have Tyler Rogers in there and somebody that will be able to eat up even more innings than Louis Varland, if Hoffman doesn't have it, then you could see them flirt with that idea if they don't go out and get a Pete Fairbanks or somebody else.
Get more quality guys, get insurance in that middle innings. I absolutely freaking love it. Now, there's another thing I wanted to bring up right here that I thought was quite interesting. So we're bringing up, Jeff Hoffman and closing roles and whatnot. I think it's really cool that they are taking into consideration the advanced metrics when it came to this signing right here. You had a guy like Jeff Hoffman, and you had other guys too that were giving up a lot of hard contact, but Jeff Hoffman in particular, last year he was in the first percentile in a barrel percentage, first percentile. That's what led to all those home runs, but everything else was great. Like, that's what I'm saying, the whiff stuff, the K stuff, the chase stuff, the expected batting average, all great for Jeff Hoffman. Just that barrel was just way too much. Well, if you want to eliminate barrels, go get the complete opposite end of things. Like we looked over at Tyler Rogers, keep talking about his brother here, Tyler Rogers, and you have 100th percentile in barrel percentage. You just went and got the opposite. So if you want to improve in something, you just improved in it with Tyler Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, they saw that as an issue, and they wanted to address it, right? We got 869 people in here. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button, guys. Obviously, we are going to be here for every one of the Jays signings as they progress, as the offseason goes down. And this has been like, what is this? The fourth one, if you count the Shane Bieber deal.
This is the fourth
and there's still going to be more to come. And that's another thing that we got to talk about here, is the fact that this is another pitcher that the Toronto Blue Jays are bringing in. They still have yet to address that lineup, that offense. We are crossing our fingers. We are hoping that it's going to be Tucker, that it's going to be Bo Bichette coming back, but they are going balls to the wall in their pitching staff, which I certainly don't hate, because you look over at the team last year, their metrics were extremely skewed to being an incredible offense, and let's face it, a below average team in effectively everything else.
Yeah, literally the pitching needed the most addressing this offseason, and they are certainly doing it. And hell, I mean, they already made a trade earlier today to get some more depth in that department, so I guess you could argue they made 5 acquisitions with the pitchers, but they're doing everything they can to kind of reset the clock with the Dylan Ceases and the Ponce of the world, because you had Bassett leave, you had Scherzer leave. Well, you got these 2 new guys. They're younger, in the middle of their careers for a long period of time, and then you got this guy who's a veteran and back in the bullpen that we kind of need, because the bullpen, if you really think about it, other than Hoffman and other than Jimmy, it's a lot of young guys. You keep Jose Barrios and Eric Lauer, but, in the middle relief kind of late inning guys, there's a lot of young dudes in there, and it's nice to bring someone in there like an anchor like Tyler Rogers that knows what he's doing. He's been there before in the one inning he's going to pitch. You
know what I think is really cool? You were bringing up Hoffman when you're talking about the barrel percentage and everything like that, but when you look over at the team statistics for the Toronto Blue Jays as a whole, scroll up, please. What was the worst thing that we were at when it comes to pitching?
Home runs.
It was home runs.
Home runs per 9.
So,
28th in the league.
No,
That's
I know that's from a starting perspective, but again, like, that's what we were worst at from a team perspective, is when people were hitting home runs against us. So what are we going to do? We're going to go out, we're going to get potentially the single best individual at limiting home run stuff. Also happens to be the guy that can pitch the most innings and the most games in all of baseball, to try to mitigate that as much as possible.
Yeah, I love the frickin' signing. We got a donation here I'm going to read out real quick from, I believe it is Ari Pie. Let's go, Ari
Bo
Pie.
and Tucker, it's the best offseason in Jays history. You wouldn't be wrong, man. I think already, they're at a position right now. You go out, you get Dylan Cease. We love that. You go out, you bring back Shane Bieber on a very team-friendly deal. Love to see that. Starting pitching set, we think so. Oh, wait, no, we're going to go get the KBO MVP because fuck it, we ride and we want to see some upside. Bullpen, problem. Home runs, problem. Let's go get the guy that pitches the most innings in all of baseball from a relief pitcher standpoint, and also limits the home run ball. Ross Atkins is cooking like he's never cooked before, and if they are capable of going and getting even just one of Bo or Tucker, I'm thinking that already we are at an A+, and you do have potential to have the best offseason ever.
Oh, yeah, dude, and that's where we're at right now. I believe one of those guys, one of those 2, Bo or Tucker, they're coming to the Blue Jays. And if that happens, A+, gentlemen. Congratulations. And especially you were talking right there, like, what did they need to get? They needed to go address all these things. They also, in the outfield, they need to go turn over some new contracts because you got George leaving and Varsho leaving. Go get Kyle Tucker. Start a new pillar there in the outfield, a young guy who can steal bases that we don't also do. We don't steal any bloody bases. That's the next move for me right there, and that's why I feel confident that they're going to be the best at chance. They're the team that has the best chance of getting Tucker, and I'm, like we said earlier, I'm 60% sure it's going to happen. That's what's coming next, everybody. We got to wait and see.
Exactly, man. Like, again, a phenomenal signing. I am over the moon about this. Please let us know in the comments down below what you think about this signing. A couple other notes on just Tyler Rogers as a whole and why we are so excited about him. Shout out to Thomas Hall, who tweeted this out earlier today. This is hours before the trade happened, so my guy had a thought. Ross Atkins was clearly on his phone, goes, oh shit, this kind of makes sense. Let's call up Tyler Rogers, see what we can get done. Thomas Hall says, if Blue Jays sign Tyler Rogers this winter, which they have done, they'll have 2 of last season's 3 lowest vertical release points among relief pitchers in their bullpen, in Lee and Rogers. So their release point is coming out so bloody low, and it's just such a wild and different look from everything else that you're getting. Can you imagine going Trey Savage to Tyler Rogers?
Yeah.
Trey Savage all the way up here, Tyler Rogers all the way down here.
That would be the most.
It's going to be ludicrous.
Dude, that's the combo. Every Trey Savage start, you're going to see Tyler Rogers coming out.
It's literally 90 degrees, or more than that even. Dude, it's like a 180.
Look at the arm angle on the right here for the movement profile. Look at where it's releasing there in that little target, and look where the slider ends up. The slider goes up and in, if I'm a lefty. That's absolutely insanity. So I love the signing. Overall, it's a great move. Do I expect them to go get another bullpen? If they didn't, it'd be fine. Like, okay, it's fine. Like they said, they solved the bullpen. They solved the starting pitching. Now all eyes are looking at Tucker right now, or Bo Bichette. That's the next big move for the Blue Jays. I'm glad they took care of this because I was getting a little bit worried, but this is a great move. The roster's better. The Blue Jays are better. And 2026 is getting pretty tantalizing.
That's the thing. Ultimately, like, I would love it if they want to go out and if they did want to get Pete Fairbanks, like, holy mother of God, like, we are laughing. We are rolling in. But as it stands today, looking at that pitching staff, that entire pitching roster, like, for me, I'm content.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, you have to factor in, like, I know that it's, bullpens, starters, but they're all meshing together, right? Like, having a good starting pitching staff is going to help your bullpen. Having a good bullpen is going to help your starting pitching staff. We got a really strong starting pitching staff, so strong, in fact, that some of our starters that would be starters on other teams are in the pitching staff. That's obviously going to help, or in the bullpen, excuse me. Yeah. That's obviously going to help the bullpen. I'm referencing Eric Lauer and Jose Barrios, of course. They had to move off Braden Fisher from this thing because apparently he's got options, so they knocked him down. So if any injuries come up, well, there's Fish Boy, who we all love, by the way. Love Fish Boy.
Like, look at this. Like, Fisher, Fluharty, Chase Lee, who they just got today. And don't forget, he's not here because they're counting him as a starting pitcher. But you also got Yariel Rodriguez. You have 4 dudes right there, and also Brule and Schultz. They've come up here and there. But, like, you got 4 solid dudes waiting. Injuries are going to happen, especially you got Jimmy Garcia. They're going to happen, and I'm totally okay. We'll see how Lee plays out, but I like his upside as a young rookie. We'll see what he does. Like, they all can play at the big league level. So, like, yeah, we have 8 guys in that bullpen, but you effectively got 12 that could play.
Well, that's the thing. Braden Fisher has a 2.7 ERA last year, not even on the fucking roster. Pitched 50 innings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Chase Lee, it's like, I'm not about to tell you that he's got this incredible tantalizing upside, but again, somebody that could come in here and help us weather the storm of 162. So, yes, I would love them to go out and get Pete Fairbanks, or yes, I'd love them to go out and get Mason Miller, but at this current juncture of time, after a signing like this, the guy that pitches the most games in baseball, I'm no longer looking at pitching as a problem. You want to leave it, you want to set it, you want to forget about it, I'm actually fine with that. Now, really, all it comes down to, not only just their next move, but frankly, the only move that they have to make is either re-signing Bo or bringing in Kyle Tucker.
That's it, man. And we're not even at Christmas yet. This is what it feels like to be the team level of, like, a Dodgers or a Mets, where, like, yeah, by Christmas in the last couple off seasons, they were done. They were done, and they were chilling. So I got a feeling it's got to come soon. We got a dono from Irish guy in here saying, loved watching you guys during the run. Shut up. Thank you, man. Love the moves. the Jays have build on the hard work they did last season. That's effectively it, right? And everyone in the comments, not everyone, excuse me, that's the wrong word choice. Some people in the comments were doubting that the Blue Jays were really going to go all in and do it. I just saw a tweet by Bob Nightingale saying the Blue Jays are going all in. We even saying the Blue Jays are going all in. And if all these moves don't tell you that they're going all in, then you're out of your dang mind.
Yeah.
It's like they are going all in, and feel confident knowing that a Bo and a Tucker move, one of those two is probably coming. Who knows when? But it's probably coming next.
Yeah, they're still waiting on those markets to develop. Tyler Rogers, certainly a lot easier to evaluate and know what it is that he is worth getting paid. So, clearly they went out and they got that done as they should. And congratulations once again to Ross and for Mark and for all those guys for doing this, man. Like, they are cooking like they've never cooked before. Now it does just come down to waiting patiently for Bo. His market's got to come down a little bit, and waiting patiently for Kyle Tucker. They're going to be in both of those conversations. Best part about all of this, in years prior, we've always been really worried. It's like, oh shit, like we're in the Soto conversations, but we're missing out on other guys because we got all our eggs in one basket. We already got the other guys.
We got the necessary guys. Like, those guys were like the tantalizing chase, and that's what Tucker and Bo are right now. Maybe you could argue maybe Bo is kind of necessary because he's with the team and whatnot, but still, those are tantalizing chases. We got the things we needed. The fundamental stuff of baseball, which is pitching. You need more pitching. We got all that.
That's
it's
thing.
all good.
Meanwhile, you know what I mean? Like, New York Yankees or what have you, they're going to be busy trying to get all the necessities together, bare necessities. We already did and done that. So we can now put all of our eggs into the Kyle Tucker basket. Don't need to feel any way about seeing other pitchers and other relief guys leave the board. I don't give a shit anymore because we just need to get one of those offensive players at this point. Tyler Rogers, great signing. I love it.
Dude, Edward, I think it was Edward that was in the chat because he's coming out here with a $5 donut saying, remember what I said in the last stream that we should sign Tyler Rogers to mentor Chase Lee? Yes, exactly. I was literally talking about that before we hit the live button. Didn't expect it to happen like a few hours later. Dude, literally me too. I was like, when I read your comment, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Probably won't happen though, because like they got their eyes on other guys. But I'm honestly cool with this. Now, one thing, we've been gassing them all up all night. I've seen some people in the comments talk about it, so we got to address it here. Are you worried about the age at all? I mean, you always got to be a little bit worried, but I don't think it's going to matter that much to him because he doesn't throw 97, 98, 100 miles per hour. You saw him throw 80 innings last year at age what? 34, 33 last year. Throw 80 games, 100. How many innings did he throw?
It was 77.1.
77.
So,
like, this guy's a freaking workhorse. He had the most games in baseball last year, and he throws 83 miles per hour. Like, that's not going to hurt your elbow. And you might say, oh, the arm angle might, but clearly it doesn't because he threw a lot of bloody innings. So I'm less worried about the age when it comes to him than I would with other guys. So with that
the age
said,
is a non-factor. The age is a non-factor, guys. Look, you got to use your eyeballs at some point, and my eyeballs are telling me that as the years have gone on, he's gotten better.
Yeah.
So, like, the age is quite literally
Doesn't
a non-factor. Now, when he's, in his third year of the contract, I don't know where things are going to be at, but certainly walking into this thing, coming off of his best season ever, pitching the most innings ever, leading MLB, like, all of this, stuff for me. These are massive check marks. And frankly, you think, or you're looking around at some of the other guys that we were interested in. Suarez, he's not a young guy by any stretch of the imagination. Diaz is honestly getting up there in age too. A lot of bullpen guys, because when you're a bullpen guy, typically you're going to come up later. Because you didn't make it as a starter, so you're going to come up later. Like Tyler Rogers, he didn't debut until he was 28.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So when you're a bullpen guy, you're going to come up later. A lot of the times, you don't end up really getting and hitting free agency until you're kind of in your early to mid-30s. Yeah. That's just the going way of bullpen guys.
Yeah, I mean, look at Aroldis Chapman. I know he's probably Hall of Fame bound, but like Aroldis Chapman, like, that guy is a tank, and he's still going. And I know he's a different specimen, but like, you can have success when you're a lot older in your career. Now, another thing too, there was a vested option, which basically means like, if he performs well or hits some standards that I guess we have to wait and see what those standards are, then he's going to get another fourth year. Well, if he's hitting those standards, then one other fourth year that's basically guaranteed. Yep. Or it could be a player opt-out option, whatever that thing is. But that's another win right there. Like, I think that would be great because if he sucks, then okay, he's not hitting the standard, then he's out every 3 years, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, now we don't know what that standard is. I imagine that was negotiated between them, whether that's an innings pitched or an ERA or a what have you. We have no idea. Either way, though, this is a great move. The
Massive
team
dub.
got better. Honestly, the bullpen got a lot better. And Tyler Rogers, you are going to be seeing him a ton next season.
Literally, any time the starting pitcher gets into a jam, there's Tyler Rogers.
Exactly.
Literally every
You need
every
a double
time.
play.
There's
guy.
Tyler Rogers.
If someone's on first base, it's always going to be Tyler Rogers.
Yeah.
Every single time. Because he's the best in the business when it comes to getting ground balls. Double play machine.
Well, no wonder the ball's already halfway to the ground.
Yeah, literally.
No wonder, right? So, guys, this is an absolute W of a signing, and this offseason just keeps getting better. Like, I went from we were already probably at an A, but maybe an A minus. Now we're at an A for sure. A plus is when we get Tucker or Bo back, but that feels inevitable. One of those guys is
Feels
coming.
like we're going to get there,
One of them.
folks. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. That's where we're going to call this one. Shout out to John Bernstein right as we're leaving here on our way to bringing Ohtani back to Toronto. He'll have to come back if we're in the World Series because I'm sure that he's going to be, man. But, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button. I imagine there's going to be more signings on the way. So if you want to join this community, we highly encourage you to do so.
Yeah, guys, please hit that like button, smash the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, go Jays, go!